Hello and welcome back to Post Credits for episode 4, I believe now. Episode 4? You can do 2 then.
Yeah.
2.
Two twos.
Welcome to everyone in the chat. We're back here talking about, obviously we talk about video games, movies and comic books and anything that interests us here at Talon Esports. Today, although of course we will be talking about some movie news, we are here to talk about E3, the big gaming event that has happened over the last couple of weeks for us here. That's quite important considering that we are a video game and esports team. Streamers and entertainment providers, so to speak. So first of all, what I'd like to do is just go over some movie news and gaming news that we know off the bat, and then we can throw back and forth, talk about games that you saw coming up, what you're interested in coming up this year, what you're going to be buying for Christmas, what's going to be under that tree from Big Santa Claus. And yeah, just talk about video games. So just to get some news out of the way, first of all, we are at episode 4. It's great to be back, everyone. Today we have Denise and Thomas back with us today. Obviously these... I'll let you guys introduce yourself. How have you been?
Yeah, really good. It's been quite busy. A lot of things happening with the gaming.
What have you been streaming recently?
Oh, a lot of Overwatch.
Yeah.
To be honest, I did want to start with Fortnite, but you know what? Fortnite's kind of right now.
It's getting old now.
It is. All these updates with Overwatch and everything. I'm getting a little bit better, but then also my rank is going down. So guys,
oh no,
sorry about that.
Comp is a tough grind.
It is. But yeah, anyways, at Denberley, shameless plug.
And Schmidtdude, I haven't been streaming as much lately. Real life's been taken over, to be honest. But when I do, I've been playing Total War 3 Kingdoms, where like the Dynasty Warriors and
old school
ancient China. So that's been kind of fun. It's
nice.
like
I've been playing that on PC. I was willing to like.
I play Total War every now and
Shogun.
again.
I played Shogun Total War.
Yeah, right, exactly. So this is the same thing, except like you've got like your little, generals, Chinese generals running on the battlefield, which is kind of cool. So I played that a bit, and yeah, same Overwatch. Just been playing and repping Overwatch with the Hammond t-shirt.
Yeah.
And how can everyone follow you on Twitch? Not that obviously your fans are already here, but
Schmidtdude. Yeah, it's
Schmidtdude.
SCHMIDTDUDE. Yeah, everything's Schmidtdude TV. Yeah.
Awesome, man. As always, I am One Done Did It on Twitter. Try and find that one. There's some fun stuff happening there. Okay, so big news, first of all, for Talon. Obviously, we are adventuring into Thailand this year. I feel like in the next couple of months, we're going to be making some inroads into the Thai gaming sports systems. And we have 2 big pieces of news for this week. Obviously, I want to tease that we might be getting into ROV in Thailand, which is obviously Arena of Valor. It's a new gaming esports system. Well, not new. It's new for us. It's been big in Thailand, and we'll be getting a bit more traction in there with some more exciting things to come around that. And second of all, we have signed Book, who is an incredible Tekken 7 player based out of Thailand. There's going to be some... It's absolutely amazing to have him aboard on the team. So welcome, Book, if you are watching. And all those Book fans out there, we can't wait to see some of the content you create and watch you play and kick ass in Tekken 7. Yeah. So that's all the Talon news that we have for the moment. We'll obviously be talking about E3 later on, but just to cover off some of the some of the movie news that I've had coming over the week. First of those is obviously Dark Phoenix. Have you guys seen Dark Phoenix? You have seen Dark Phoenix. Okay. I haven't wanted to...
Have you seen it yet?
I don't want to put myself through that torture.
See, so have you seen it?
I have not, no.
So neither of you have seen it?
No, but I've read all the reviews and spoiled it for myself.
I went into it, obviously haven't seen an Endgame recently and all the other ones. I was like, I can't compare it. I just got to go in just as if it's just a good movie, just go and watch it. And it was okay, but it wasn't like, I'm going to be honest, it didn't blow my mind or anything.
Yeah, because I looked into it and saying that how they had to change the engine because apparently it was exactly like Captain Marvel. Like they had a big space battle killing aliens. They've got a similar thing to the Skrulls in there with shape-shifting aliens.
Yeah, I mean, without spoiling too much, it's very sort of standard. Some foreign creatures come in and, guess what? The powerful female lead decides to, so very standard
It's a typical narrative for the moment. Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to Disney rebooting the entire thing.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice to start fresh.
Yeah, will be. Second piece of news is the box office around that. So right now, ironically enough, I was just checking. Men in Black is doing pretty well, 30 million at the box office.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen that yet.
I haven't seen it yet either. It's got Thor, Chris Hemsworth in there.
Tessa Thompson.
Yes, Tessa Thompson. Yes, Valkyrie. It's quite cool. Weird movie crossover universe.
Really good chemistry, I think. I mean, I feel like a lot of movies did that, right? Like, with the rom-coms before when Harry Met Sally and, or what is it? Sleepless in Seattle, Tom Hanks. And exactly.
I don't know what are these movies you're talking about? I don't know.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Sorry, guys. Female audiences.
I'm just teasing you because I don't watch. we have to have the female audience. We definitely need that.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
No, definitely. Anyone with on-screen chemistry, I feel like a lot of directors, they do want to keep them together.
Yeah, it does help. Yeah, for sure. And you can sort of ping back and forth off of each other, so it does make a difference.
Yeah, I think Taika Waititi, when he did the Thor movie, he really brought them together and kind of brought that out. So that's kind of cool. Aladdin, we were talking about before we joined in.
Yeah,
again, something I haven't really seen because I don't really want to ruin the cartoon for me and what that kind of meant as a child. It's doing still well. It's still got 17.4 million in the box office, so that's
heard mixed reviews. Right. Some people say it's amazing. Some people hate it. So
it depends, again, it's like Marmite, I think, as a movie.
Yeah.
You've not seen it? You've not seen it either?
I have not seen it, no.
Would you go?
But I would go. I think I do like Will Smith personally, so I think he would play a good genie. I mean, just because he's such a, he
brings his flair to it.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of the blue genie that came out when he first came out in that first trailer?
Not at all. Hated it. Instantly hated
anyone
it.
like that.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
It's because it's live action now that it's a little bit strange, from what we're used to when we were younger. So
that's what we were talking about the last podcast about live action. You either go 100% exactly like it was, or you go completely different. If you go half and half, people are just
they're going to know. It's the uncanny valley. They know, exactly like Sonic, another blue mishap that happened obviously very recently.
Another blue mishap.
The blue gang is going wrong for the moment. But the reason I wanted to bring that up is because Dark Phoenix is sitting at 23% on Rotten Tomatoes and only 9.4 million at the box office.
23%.
So less than a third of what Men in Black has done.
Wow. I wouldn't
for top box office.
23%, but that's low.
Yeah, that's really low. I mean, if you look at it, it's not sitting well. Obviously, it's 64% though against an audience score. So the tomato meter's at 23. That's a very vast difference.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
I can't judge it. I haven't seen it. I will watch it when it comes out, but I'm just not that bothered to put money behind it at this time. So other than that, we have what I want to talk about. So Spider-Man's coming up, and a very quite controversial reveal that they put on Instagram. Did you guys follow this news?
I didn't see this one. What happened?
So a couple of days ago, they started doing a countdown of 4, 3, 2, 1, I think. But they did it in a Spider-Man on the Marvel Instagram page.
Okay.
And they had in a spider's web the number.
Right.
And it started with 4, and everyone went crazy basically about it, simply because everyone thought there was a new comic book coming out, or there was a new movie or something coming out. Until the 3 came out the next day and was like, oh, it's just a countdown for the Spider-Man movie launching. But it was quite funny to see the internet lose its mind for a little bit, being like, what is this? Is we going to get 4th Spider-Man? Is there going to be something else happening? Is it related to this?
Okay.
But yeah, it was just a countdown for the movie.
Fair enough. No, I didn't see that. No.
But we'll have to do our next episode of this podcast will be on Spider-Man, I feel.
Yeah.
If you guys want to go and see it, we also saw Endgame together, so we can go and see that one.
Yeah, definitely.
And check that out.
Sure.
So there's that, the IG Instagram feed that messed it with everyone's heads. Then there's some news. This is just personal news for me because I'm a fan of James Gunn. But I wanted to talk about him just because apparently I saw news today that he's now going to be doing a Justice League reboot.
Oh, really?
Or is in line to do a Justice League reboot, which it means this guy has the biggest bounce back of his entire career this year. From everything that happened with Disney firing him over tweets from like 7 years ago to then getting both the Suicide Squad sequel reboot
I think
as a producer on that, I think. Or, he's actually directing it, I think. And also doing Brightburn, which is like the evil version of Superman. Which, again, I haven't seen because it didn't come out in our region, but I really want to see that. First, you did really well, you were saying.
Yeah, apparently, like from what I'd read, I haven't seen it myself either, but most of the things I'd seen gave it either high reviews or were saying like they've done it really well because it wasn't expected. So evil Superboy, actually, as a kid.
Evil Superboy. And they're saying that he's even planning on doing like an evil version of Batman, and obviously not calling it Batman, but it's pretty obvious that it's take on that. Which means he'll have Guardians, Brightburn, Suicide Squad,
it's a good
Justice League. He's going to have the biggest repertoire out of anyone right now, and working on both DC and Marvel. That's pretty.
That'll be kind of cool.
Pretty huge. And then this is just one for me, and I think because for me, this whole thing is all my news. There was a trailer that came out for a TV show on Amazon Prime called The Boys, which has basically got Carl Urban, and he's got a team of people together where he basically kicks naughty superheroes' ass. And it's basically in a world, kind of like the Brightburn world, where there's 7, they're called the 7 superheroes, and they kind of create a lot of collateral damage.
Okay.
And he goes around and holds them accountable for that. So, like, he'll go and beat them up when they're not being very good. I don't know whether he's got any superpowers himself, but it's more that he's just going around with guns to try and, like, take on superheroes when they go evil. And the new trailer is quite funny because there's a moment in it where there's a guy goes to find him. Like, he's just making out with his girlfriend on the side of the street, and a superhero runs past at lightning speed like the Flash would, and just disintegrates his girlfriend into a mist of blood because he basically just runs through her, and he's there holding her hands.
This is like a dark.
It's dark. It's properly dark. And so the superhero guy turns around and goes, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see you," and then just runs off. And that's the kind of world they're setting up. Is like there's no accountability for that, which I think is good because all those questions were brought up during Superman.
Exactly.
Where they were like, how many people died?
They just destroyed everything.
And it was never held accountable. So that could be quite funny. And Carl Urban, I love him. He was Dredd
I think that's cool because then that'll bring a bit of a realistic spin to superheroes. Like, you see them, have these giant wars and like battles like in the middle of Manhattan, and it's like surely something's gonna happen to the regular people that are walking around. Yeah,
I've always thought it'd be quite funny to do like they're doing the Marvel What If for the new Disney Plus. It'd be quite cool to see a series where it's like from the everyday person's perspective, like a shopkeeper who's always like, oh, they're back destroying my city again. Like, what are they going to destroy this time?
They did that a little bit with Batman in the new DC when he... I remember, I'll never forget, it was a little clip where Bruce Wayne, which was Ben Affleck, was running through the streets and he was trying to get to Wayne Tower, and then he'd seen Superman destroying stuff and he was trying to help that little girl. It was perfect to see that from that perspective because it was the same scene but from a completely different point of view.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That was cool.
It was kind of cool.
I feel like all of this is also going into like anti-hero, right? Or literally all of the things that you talked about except for like Justice League is literally the anti-hero
stuff.
But maybe that means they could do Justice League Dark. Or like do the evil version of that,
we'll
right?
See, we'll see what's
yeah. Even if they did a movie version of what's the game that came out recently? Injustice. They could do that. That could be pretty cool to do the dark side, like Superman just go mad and kills someone. Yeah. No, that's a good point. And they've got Spawn coming up, I think, in a couple of years.
Yep, Spawn.
If it's still on with oh god, who signed on for that now? The chat can tell us. Who signed on to be Spawn? Jason Fox, is it?
Here, let me look that up.
Spawn. Let me Google that for the moment. Chat, if you can help me out. Who is going to be the new Spawn? You get 10 points. Todd McFarlane's doing it again, but who is going to be Spawn? We'll find out in a minute.
No, it doesn't.
Anyway, that's all of the news I have. Did you guys have any other news you wanted to bring up?
I did.
Yeah?
I guess in TV news, because we are talking about the anti-hero. Jessica Jones Season 3 just released, at least in Hong Kong, I think 2 or 3 days ago. So any of the Defender fans that we have out there?
Is there any left?
I mean,
I feel like drop an F in the chat for the Defender chat.
You know what? Defenders are actually one of my favorite groups of heroes.
They were great.
Yeah.
Is Defenders the...
So it's Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and...
They had a series on Netflix.
Right? Okay, yeah.
I mean, they're all like the Netflix Marvel characters, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So
that's why it was so sad there was that meme that I thought was quite funny during Endgame where they're all stuck in the lift. And it's like they're all waiting for their portal to open to come into Endgame. Like, anytime now, guys. Don't worry. Anytime.
I'm sure someone got an invite.
Yeah, exactly.
They're always stuck in a lift, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They've just stuck in this whole time. No one knows where they are. That's why they got cancelled. They haven't come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other news? What do you guys got? Any plans this week for streaming or for new games you're gonna play?
I'm trying to think what's out. Well, Apex Legends is
season 2, right?
So I might try and get back in and try it out. I was super into Apex when it came out, and it was so much fun. And season 1 Battle Pass kind of disappointed. Was very bland for what they thought was going to be this amazing new Battle Pass. Then that was back in February, so this is June now. So we're talking 4 months later. There's this second season. Teasing new character Watson, so I don't know. Maybe I might go back into that.
Watson, okay. What does he do?
Electricity fields. So she puts down these.
She okay.
What's a she?
And it puts like it's a she. Yeah, Watson's her last name, and she puts this sort of electronic or electromagnetic
like a Tesla field thing.
Yeah, across, and she put 2 pillars down, and it makes a field. So when people go through it, they get hurt.
It's kind of cool. When is that released?
I don't know the date exactly, but it's coming up. It's coming up soon. Okay. I mean, it's within the next month or 2.
Yeah,
we've got the chat saying they will the LMG gun hype.
Yeah, the L-Star. Yeah, Sticky Daniel, the new LMG, the L-Star, which was from Titanfall that they brought over, because a lot of Apex is based in the Titanfall universe. So, which is kind of cool. A lot of people are going back to Titanfall now and playing it a lot, and they're saying like, oh, maybe this could be brought over to Apex. Maybe this is going to be brought over to Apex. So.
They could just easily bring quite a lot of that in, right?
Yeah, they could. And waiting for the day they bring in the mechs. They just, while you're playing a Battle Royale game, someone just spawns in a giant
That could be. I haven't seen that in a Battle Royale, just spawning in like a heavy, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Well, if they have one person, it could be a pilot, be the next character, and then his ultimate could just be a mech for a certain amount of time, right?
Spawn in a mech for like,
why haven't they done that
seconds.
Yet? Seems like they haven't done that.
Yeah, it would be kind of OP.
Maybe it's like a mini mech or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But that would be OP. So maybe on a kill streak or something. if they brought kill streak.
Yeah.
What is it? Kill leader? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
If you got kill leader, if you got that'd be quite cool. Like anyone can just run to get, or just it spawns and anyone can get it.
Yeah. It
like
could be like a care package.
Right?
Oh,
yeah.
You just run up and try and grab it. It's the only one care package in the game. You just jump in a mech and start try and kill for like.
There you go.
60 seconds.
EA, if you're listening, technically.
Yeah,
I know you didn't make it, but you take credit for it, unfortunately.
Diva in Apex, exactly. Stick it out. It's like having a diva from Overwatch.
Oh yeah,
She just gets into a little
for a few minutes,
and then once it's gone, it's
They did nerf diva though, but I guess when we talk about games, we can talk
for
a
sure.
little
So they
bit
did
about
nerf this. Then they did. So they responded to her
Nerf
calls
this?
the whole time.
Yeah.
They were like,
I like it.
Nice.
one thing I know is there's diva. And yes, thank you, Sluggerman, for saying that it was Jamie Foxx who's going to be Spawn.
Okay.
Well, last I heard, we
Amazing.
don't know where that movie is right now, whether it's still in production, but
Right. Okay.
Jamie Foxx is great. Oh.
yeah, Jamie Foxx is great. I liked him in Baby Driver. He was awesome in that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, no other news.
Oh,
good?
Yeah, that's everything.
Let's
Yeah.
move on to E3 then. Okay, so guys in the chat, guys and girls in the chat, if there's any games you want us to talk about or to discuss that you thought was great, just put name down in the chat and we'll have a little discussion there. What we're going to do now is go through by console, so we can look at PC, Xbox, Nintendo, and any PC games. Obviously, there's a lot of cross-platform. There's a big chat this year for E3, so there should be some overlap on that. Let's just start with PlayStation, I guess, because they weren't there.
Yeah. They have.
Is there anything you guys saw on PlayStation? I didn't really see anything specifically. Oh, well, yes, Final Fantasy.
They mentioned, they were going to reboot that.
We've done that for a while. They had a trailer out quite a while ago, right?
I think it's finally sort of people are seeing a little bit more and more, so they're just getting hyped about it. I never played Final Fantasy, so I don't know.
Yeah,
But
neither.
apparently,
Yeah, I wasn't a huge into that.
from what I've read, people said 7 is the best of all of them, and so they're super psyched up that that's the one that they're rebooting.
Well, yeah, the remake they did a couple of years ago now. The latest one that came out, that open world.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've never
that did
played Final Fantasy.
amazingly apparently. So it'd be great to see what they do with this when the remake comes in.
Yeah.
But I guess for me the biggest news around PlayStation was that they just weren't there.
Yeah.
And what that says for E3 in the future.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Sony decided that they were going to say they wanted to do something on a different spin and try it out something different and not go with E3, which will mean, what if Microsoft follows suit and Microsoft does their own thing? Maybe Sony won't want to do their own E3 or their own Sony reveal.
Maybe.
And then Microsoft does that, and then eventually we won't have an E3. I don't know.
No, I mean, there's a trend that at least I took from the watch world, right, or horology world, whatever, where they used to have a similar thing called Basel World every year, where all the big brands went to, and everyone launched their same models at the exact same time of the year. It was only a week, and only exclusive people were invited to go, kind of like E3, where if you can't get a ticket, then you miss out.
Yeah.
The automotive industry had the same thing, and then suddenly people started pulling back from that. I feel like the same thing could happen here. If PlayStation pull out, they will have their own events, but there'll still be an E3.
Yeah.
We were talking about this before, whether it then becomes something different. It's more for...
more like the community.
More for the community, more for indie developers, which would be really cool to see more of them being invited along. If PlayStation's not there, bring in someone else, fill up that space. They must have the event hall still, so it'd be cool to see.
I think there's still plenty of smaller developers, apart from the major big ones, that would definitely still be able to fill it up. And then you fill it up with like different sort of influencers, like podcast people, movies that might be coming out. So it's not just video game developers. So then there's still plenty you could do. The cosplay would still be big, I think, because people love going to these conventions in their cosplay. So
yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot around gaming you could bring to the table. RTX, or what Rooster Teeth have done with RTX in Austin, I think, and in London they do one.
Right.
It's a similar kind of thing where there's a lot more of gaming industries rather than just the big video game guys. Especially when you look at, if we go into Xbox, them launching Project Scarlet, obviously, but then Google Stadia and Ubisoft's Uplay, the way that the industry is going, there's going to be a lot more of these indie developers pushing games forward. And
it seems to be everyone's trying to move away from doing shared platforms. So like how a lot of developers are moving away from Steam, Fortnite's developer, what's Fortnite's developer?
Epic Games.
Epic Games, they're doing their own thing, right? Ubisoft are doing Uplay Plus, where it's just their own subscription to their own their own launcher and own platform. So it seems like a lot of people want to do their own thing and branch out, which would be interesting then. But it will also mean that as a gamer, I feel like it's gonna be hard because I'm gonna have like 12 different launchers for different games that I want to play. As opposed
it's going to be like the way of the TV industry that originally went from everyone getting annoyed. You had to buy Sky and all the different boxes and Sky and then BT, Virgin or cable versus satellite. So then going, okay, now we've got Netflix and everything can be on Netflix. But then if you look at it, we've now got Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, HBO, Hulu. And you have to have 12 subscriptions almost to everything that you're looking at. Even the WDC, Warner Bros. Universe had their own version of that, and there's comic book versions. So it could go the same way with the game industry. You're right. The only thing for me that gives it hope, and I don't know if this is the same for you, specifically for Destiny, because this is where I heard the news, they've now going to have crossplay between Xbox, or cross saves, between Xbox and PlayStation. So I could then, if I went out, I've never really bought PlayStation or got into it, but you were saying a good point about how they have exclusives.
Yeah, a lot of PS4
so
games.
If I give up my Xbox, I can cross-save across the PlayStation and pick up where I left off.
That's kind of cool.
Because I kept thinking, like, I want to get into PlayStation because of the graphics and all of the exclusives, but I'd have to start my character again from scratch. Now, if more games start doing that, hopefully it won't be about, I've got to get 12 subscriptions. It's like, okay, well, I've got one game. And you're rightly so, you're paying 50 quid for a game these days, 50, 60 pounds, whatever, US dollars.
Definitely.
You shouldn't have to buy it 4 times on 4 different platforms just to play with your friends.
I firmly believe crossplay should be a thing, just because why would I buy a game twice if I'm playing the exact same game, but just on a different media platform?
Yeah, I mean, and especially for the younger audience, it's what splits the playground, I think. If you go in and you're like, hey, I got this on PlayStation, and all your friends have it on Xbox, you are out.
Well, that's me. I had an Xbox for the longest time, and everyone else had PS4s.
Yeah, I was exactly the same.
I guess and eventually I did sell the Xbox just to get the PS4 and other reasons like PS4 exclusives, but like same thing. And that's why I'm more into PC now, because it's way more accessible for someone to, as long as they have a computer, they can download the launcher for Fortnite or whatever, or they can download Steam for whatever games. And it doesn't mean that because they've bought a PS4 how many years ago that they can only do PS4. So yeah.
Now, just because I'm not familiar with it, with Overwatch, can you play between Xbox and PC, or is it just exclusively playing between? Right,
PC only or console only.
See, I get that because obviously you've got a mouse and keyboard; it's a lot easier to track rather than a controller. But then that's where the controversy came with Destiny again, is because they're saying that you're going to have crossplay between PC and console, which is going to make it.
People say it's tough when you do, especially shooters like Destiny is, where Destiny's kind of a shooter, where you have like crossplay between consoles that often have aim assists to a slight extent versus PC that doesn't. So then you're talking like, okay, well, mouse movement is more fine-tuned versus controllers on the sticks. So
even gun recall, like I've seen people go to PC just because gun recall on Destiny was so big, like you could literally control it just from a little scroll wheel. It's so much easier. Right?
Yeah, I think the only game that's done it well is Rocket League. That's done PC, PS4.
Yeah.
And that's okay because it doesn't really require a difference in skill level in terms of whether you're using a controller or mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, if anything, if you're driving games, it's probably easier to work on a controller anyway, right?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. So, I think if you're talking shooters, I don't know how much crossplay can happen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything in the professional league, like we won't see it in esports at all, I don't think. Unless you're letting people play on a PC for graphics, but giving them a controller to play with.
But if it's esports, then how do you decide who's on console, who's on PC?
Yeah, who gets what? Because obviously
everyone's going to gravitate towards the one that's better. Yeah.
No, we had Hads on chat. He said, not sure if it's going to be cross-play, just cross-save. However, a lot of people use controller on PC because of aim assist. I mean, there's that factor as well.
Yeah, there is that factor.
So maybe they're only playing on PC just in terms of the connectivity with friends.
Yeah.
Or the actual mechanical play.
Yeah.
It's still really on a console because you're using console controller.
True.
Yeah, you can use keyboard and mouse as well on PS4 and Xbox, I think.
You can.
Fortnite, you can.
I don't know anyone that does that, but you can.
Well, maybe they can't afford a PC, so they just buy a keyboard, I guess.
Yeah.
That's like you're saying, like, I can wear 5 hats at the same time if I want to. But
do
I wear 5 hats?
I mean, you play Fortnite, right? Surely it's easier to keybind a lot of the different building pieces on a keyboard than it is all the buttons on a. I've never played on a console.
But even if you look at the Elite, another thing, Xbox launched the new Elite controller with the additional kind of like hooks coming down the back. You can have quick release or quick.
But even so, it's so awkward for you to have your clawy hands on the controller, But then with the keyboard, you have all these buttons. You know where they are. You can put different stickers on them to let you know where everything is, and then you just kind of do it, right?
Yeah.
So
that's true. You got a lot of quick access to stuff.
Yeah.
So Xbox, any other games that you saw that you were interested in from Xbox?
Halo Infinite. Which was a teaser, so it'll be nice to see them redo Halo.
Well, that's so is it? This is where I was confused because I haven't really been paying too much attention to the Halo universe where it is now. Is this still 343 Studios?
I have no idea.
I think it is, but I don't know when it takes place. Is this supposed to take place after the original? Because it looks like he's coming out of cryostasis.
He's in space and he's just floating, and then he gets pulled out. So and the guy who's I don't know who the guy is, but he's in the spaceship where he's
and the Halo is blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and so he's been dormant in this spaceship for a long time. You see, he grows a beard, so obviously some time has passed. So I assume it might be a sequel.
I think it might be a sequel, but to the original trilogy.
Yeah, the original. From the original. Yeah,
which could be good.
It'll be interesting
to find out why they've gone back that way. Well, I mean, they've got a lot of gap to fill in, I guess.
Yeah.
But then, I shall see with that. But no, I'm interested in that. The trailer looked really good.
Yeah, it did. It looked really good, but who knows? That's what I was looking at. Like, so many of these trailers at E3 were so cool, but they're all
hardly
cinematics.
any
like
in-game footage.
Not much is gameplay.
Yeah.
The biggest one was obviously Star Wars. 15 minutes of gameplay, which was really cool to see.
Yeah.
That was. What did you think, Dennis, of the characters, Denise?
I mean, I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know all their names properly. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm more of a
That's why
Trekkie.
I thrown it to you. Because I know that from before, so I'm just like...
to Schmidt to talk about this a little bit.
Name one Star Wars character.
Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got you into like the one like Darth Vader or something.
That's an easy one as well. They got like Boss Nass or Jabba the Hutt or anyone like that.
Yeah, those guys.
Totally.
Totally.
You know Jar Jar Binks is?
Yeah, totally.
You shouldn't. He's dead to me.
Well,
but yeah, the Star Wars
anyway, next topic, guys.
No, but the footage. Did you see the footage or any stuff around
I did
it?
a little bit, but I got really bored because,
Yeah. Well, speaking of Darth Vader, to me, the guy looks like Anakin Skywalker.
He does, with his long brown hair.
And I really hope that you can change the way he looks or select gender or do something, because I think I just don't want to play as someone like that for
it's
for
like
so long.
just someone a little different.
Yeah. Well, even like, why not have customization in the character? It's set in a period of time where you can tell any story you want, so why not allow it to be anyone?
Yeah.
Well,
look okay. Sorry, go on.
No. I guess, just to kind of segue into another game that was released that has a lot of customization of the character, Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk.
Really
Super
hyped for
excited
that.
by
I mean,
that.
personally, you made that comment about the cinematics and everything in trailers. I personally like that.
Yeah.
I like to follow the stories. I really like the way people with content tell the story, with their content and everything. But with Cyberpunk 2077, you can be a guy or a girl. You can choose your gender. You can
many
also
genders are there?
Well, actually, I'm not sure. I think it's
there
either
is no
female,
number.
But the name is his name or her name is just V. So very kind of neutral.
Oh,
It's
that
just a
sounds
letter
like
V.
one of those V, Z, Z's.
Well, I mean, it's Cyberpunk 2077.
Men in Black, when they all have a letter to their name.
No, but that's like, well, again, don't want to get into politics of it, but when it's like comes down to gender, you can be called anything you want.
I see, right.
So Z is one of those non-he, non-she.
Non-binary stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then you can choose their background. So I mean, it's even more customization. You can choose. I think, what is it? They're like childhood hero and like all these things that lead up to the actual
like ability points kind of stuff. Yeah.
And there's different endings for the different things that you do. So it's kind of like what is that Black Mirror movie called? The Choose Your Own Adventure kind of
Wendigo. Chat, help us out.
I don't watch Black Mirror.
Sorry to throw in the chat.
Anyway, so pretty much this game, it's all customizable. It's very, very similar to GTA, where it's kind of open map. You're in the city called Night City, I believe. Based in California. Name. Yeah. I mean,
they spent all their effort on other things, and I like that rather than naming
I forgot
the
about
city.
a city name.
It's
at
dark
night.
It's night city.
No, but it is dynamic because it will be day and night cycles and, rain and weather and all that stuff.
I'm super excited about it. All the customizations that you get to choose how you upgrade yourself.
Yeah.
Like, do you go with knives, or do you go with like visual implants, or do you go all stealth?
Yeah, because you have three.
Really cool.
You have three different, I guess, character backgrounds. You can be a hacker, you could be a techie, which is like all the machinery and all the knives and guns and whatnot, and then you can be just someone who's really badass and just kicks ass, right, with combat,
like a tank, right?
Exactly. So I mean, really interesting stuff. And of course, the biggest news around Cyberpunk at E3 was Keanu
that it's coming
Reeves.
out later. No, of course.
We're gonna play it soon.
Yes.
Keanu Reeves, the internet's boyfriend, just randomly appeared at E3.
That was so random.
It's like, I'm here.
He is Jesus returned, basically. Again, the report today came out said that he's been funding like hospices for children for years, secretively. Like he's an amazing man.
He's the guy who's like, you go on the subway and he'd just be sat across from you on the subway.
He's so down.
He gave all of his money away for most of his movies to charity and to other things. He's just an amazing person.
Great guy. I just thought of that when we were talking about Keanu Reeves, was that it's really cool that games and movies are completely blending now.
Yes.
And like Keanu Reeves was one of them. Death Stranding with what's his name? Walking Dead guy.
Not Joel. No. Yeah, it was the guy from Walking Dead with long hair. Norman Reedus.
That's it.
Yeah, Norman Reedus.
He was in Death Stranding. You've got John Bernthal in Ghost Recon.
You got the other guy from Death Stranding too, who was in the original trailer. That was Javier Bardem, wasn't it?
Yeah. So like you got all these people who are movie stars. And then so they're into video games, and then video games are getting movie stars as well. So like you got Fortnite in Avengers.
Yep.
So then like everything is just
and Avengers
merging together.
Avengers in Fortnite as well.
Well, yeah, Avengers. Yeah, exactly. Avengers in Fortnite, the double cross. So like I think it's so cool to see that they're no longer separate things where people are either moviegoers or video game fans. It's just everyone's all together.
And one great example of that, I think, to segue into would be Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And how it's basically working with George R. R. Martin and the gaming industry to create something around that. Now,
I think it's going to be so
what are your
cool.
thoughts on this? Because I saw the trailer for it.
Well, knowing how long it takes to write books, it won't come out for a while.
We'll have DLC pending, like almost as bad as EA's latest release.
Yeah, but I'm super down with Elden Ring because I'm into a lot of those fantasy games.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be
He always took a lot of influences from Tolkien and Lord of the Rings, and I think he loves that side of it. So it could be
So
interesting to see what they do.
it'd be really,
Hopefully
really
they don't
cool.
rush into anything like they did with the
Season
show.
season 8, yeah.
Yeah, Game of Thrones.
We don't talk. This is like Jar Jar Binks. We've locked that out of the
We just
internet.
don't
We don't talk about that
Yeah.
anymore.
But
Alright,
like
guys.
speaking of that, Elder Scrolls 6 is I'm really psyched for. But they haven't shown
Yes.
anything, and they didn't show anything in E3 either. So it'll be interesting to see where they take that. Because I mean, Skyrim was so much fun, and Oblivion before that was fun, and so it'll be interesting to see where it goes after this. Because I'm really curious to see. Yeah, I mean, Elder Scrolls is. I can't wait. Yeah.
I look forward to that one. Any other games you want to talk about for Xbox? I've got a couple here, but I just wondered if you had any specifically you were interested in.
Not right now. No.
Have we talked about anything Nintendo? Or
Not
are we
yet.
getting
We'll get on to Nintendo. So with
Alright.
Xbox, still we had Halo, Star Wars,
Oh, yes.
Gears 5.
Yeah.
Another one where I have no idea when that's supposed to take place.
I think it's. Is it after?
Because I thought the whole point was at the end of 3, they kind of solved everything, and then they went back in time
Yeah.
to like pre-Gears 1 for
I can
4.
imagine they might, because if
That's
I mean,
after.
if it's Gears 5 and they're still on the same story arc, or at least the same villains or whatever,
So we got
with the Hive, yeah, I don't
so
know.
they think it's the kid.
Yeah.
Chat are saying that it's the kids of the characters, but I thought they got rid of the Lambent and they got rid of the Hive, whatever they called them.
Yeah, I can't
the
remember
end.
what
They killed it, right? They
yeah,
got-
but I hope that they're going to go for something different now.
Oh yeah, if they go
because
off-world or
if
something, they
it's
need
the
to go off-world.
same, They have to.
There's not really much of their world left. It's
Well, they
collapsed in on itself.
Exactly, because the Hive was built underneath. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. I think it looks fun because I think Gears games were just good old. It's kind of like Doom.
Yeah,
They're just good old
Run and gun.
run and gun explosions, cutting them up. Like the curb stomp was really
because
signified.
the chain gun.
Yeah, the
chainsaw gun. That was amazing.
And the finishing moves that you can do, like those were just pure gore, bloody fun. So
And they even almost with the latest one, they started almost an esports series with it, where they did the battle modes.
yeah, with the hordes and stuff.
Yeah, with the horde mode.
yeah. So
Went into it quite there.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other ones outside of that. We talked about Destiny and New Light and how it's going to become free to play and how not necessarily cross-platform play, but you're going to be able to have cross saves at least. Bleeding Edge, speaking of esports and potential with Gears 5, Bleeding Edge is a new 4v4 potential esports game coming out. It's similar to how Overwatch plays. I think it's an arena kind of style game. Not too much known about it right now. There was a brief trailer, but I think that could be one to watch out for, especially from an E-series. For me, Minecraft Dungeon looked quite interesting because it looked and then we'll get on to Nintendo, with the announcement of Zelda 2 sequels for Zelda and how well that's done. It kind of looks like a mash between Zelda and
Someone said
Minecraft.
It looks like Minecraft Diablo.
Yes, it does. That was the other things. Yeah,
Yeah.
Zelda and Diablo mashed together into some basically making Minecraft or Zelda for kids,
It's more of
or
an
Diablo
RPG.
for kids.
Yeah, which would be really interesting to see because, I don't know. It'd be nice to get a different spin on Minecraft. I think I can't play the game for more than 30 minutes because I start building and I start creating. I'm like, and I'm bored.
Yeah, and I'm dead.
And I'm just got to redo the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
But I think what was fun about Minecraft, and I've seen my brothers play it, is where they start having all these mods for like different game modes, and that's where the fun part comes. But then the game itself, the standard game, of just breaking stuff down and building, after a while you're kind of bored. So it'd be nice to see something that's not completely different, but I guess it's still a little bit in terms of gameplay. And
I mean, that's for me again. Coming back to esports and gaming, is that there's 2 games that really got me into starting to watch video games online. As sad as it may sound, one of those was SimCity. And watching people build amazing cities there. But the other one was actually originally started as Minecraft. And just watching people do funny things in Minecraft got me into watching video games on YouTube, like hardcore. So I blame Minecraft for that.
I think mine was probably Roller Coaster Tycoon. And
oh, yes.
You know how they would build it and then they would just kill all their passengers?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
There was one YouTuber who started doing that.
Yeah.
It's like, he was Mr. Procrastinator or something.
One of those guys.
Shout out to him now. But I watched the same kind of thing where they just build these amazing parks.
Yeah.
That's one of my first ever video games that I played, actually.
Really?
Roller Coaster Tycoon. Love that game.
Wow. Okay.
What else do we have? So, Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
NPC characters.
Shout out Hong Kong.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah, shout out Hong Kong.
Yeah.
it'd be interesting to see because obviously if you guys don't know, Watch Dogs Legion, you can literally play as any NPC you come across.
That's amazing.
So, and one of the features they did was a grandma this old lady in her little hat and glasses. She's going around GTA style, just killing people, hitting people, running around. So that was nice to see, because then it shows that you could just, anything can happen. You have stupid fun. And I think a lot of people need that with video games now, like just stupid fun.
Yeah, and for me personally, because I'm English, I like the fact that they were saying it's a post-Brexit world. So it could become reality, and I thought that was quite fun. They were like, what is going to happen post-Brexit? They're being really on the nose. I like that.
Yeah,
I think kids just in general want more dynamic games, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up with, you know, the 2D, you know, the Tetrises and everything, you know, classics. But then as the gaming industry evolves and as, you know, content grows and storylines kind of, you know, emerge into, I don't know, weird stuff. Like kids just really want that kind of, you know, I guess that more dynamic and that more kind of bigger story and to be a part of it, right?
They want to tell their own story in that visceral world and have no holds barred.
Exactly.
Gone are the days, hopefully, of the invisible walls. Not being able to go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Are they still called NPCs if we can actually play them, though? Because NPCs are non-playable characters, right?
I guess
guys,
no one's an NPC
point.
anymore.
So
we
they're not
need
NPCs.
a new acronym for this.
They're not NPCs.
They're
they're
PCs.
NPCs. Non-playable characters. Oh, they're not playable. Oh, they're just PCs. Yeah.
Everyone's just PCs.
We've entered the PC culture.
PC Master Race.
Yeah, PC Master. Wow, PC Master Race. Nice. I like that one. Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, before we get to speculations and personal favorites, the last one I wanted to talk about was Avengers A-Day, I called it. Avengers
A-Day. They called it A-Day.
yeah.
Where it looked like Captain America possibly died, but then came back.
Yes. Well, he died at the end of the trailer, I think, right?
Yeah, but then you can play as him.
Oh, yeah?
So
maybe you're the next...
I don't
Everyone
know
always
how it
dies.
works.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how this game's going to work or what it's going to be. It looks like a mix between an open world where you can design either your own character or take on someone's character, but also on-rails kind of action. Like if you look at the trailer, when they're playing as the Hulk, it looks very on-rails, like you'll go this way and you'll attack
You're
this
very
tank.
linear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But-
Well, not much was shown, but I think everyone was kind of hating on the fact they don't look like the movie characters.
Yeah.
What was your opinion on that? I know how much we liked Endgame.
Oh, I don't know. It's just, it was definitely disappointing compared to what we saw. And I mean, of course, you can't compare it to real acting, right? It is all computer generated and everything, but there's so much potential for it. So, I mean, I'm not going to say anything right now because we only saw, a couple minutes of it. So, I mean, they have time as well to fix anything that.
Oh, yeah. They could change the whole voice actors.
Like
we
Sonic.
saw, again, bringing back Sonic exactly and Destiny where they changed Peter Dinklage because of his horrible phoned-in line delivery.
It's okay. They don't have to look like movies characters because you're not doing... It's not the MCU, for one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it's just a video game based on Marvel. Like, when there was an old Avengers game that came out that I played a bunch. I can't remember the name of it now. It was a top-down view of, like, you would go through this dungeon sort of dungeon style crawl of I can't remember the game now. It was so much fun. But no one cared about what Thor specifically looked like. Or what Captain America's face, whether he's blonde or brunette or whatever. Like, that's just Captain America because it's the outfit. And now because Avengers... in terms of the MCU, has become so ingrained into pop culture that if it's not them, if it's not Chris Hemsworth down there, then it's wrong, But
that's why I think, for me, my take on it is that's why I think they've done it. Because one is they don't have to pay the fees for likenesses and for talent fees and for retainers and all that kind of stuff. And two, I think because they just don't want to tie in that tightly with the movies. It's going to be its own universe. It's not going to be... Because I think if they looked exactly like it, people might think like, oh, but why is Thor there? He wasn't there in the movie or whatever. And it would look like it was supposed to tie in. So I like that it's like the comic books. It's just going to be its own universe. The best thing I think about this is quite funny is that even though it's not going to directly tie into the movies, technically with Spider-Man and the mention of the multiverse, with the Spider-Man movie being about Spider-Man Into the Multiverse, the cartoon animated one, technically this could be another universe. Like it could be a realistic universe that is either a visceral video game universe or within the Marvel universe, or it's just another universe where you're playing playable characters. So there could be crossover. That's what I love about this whole way they've taken the next stage of Marvel. So to go back onto for movies right now, but it's just like they can go anywhere they want with it.
Yeah, Marvel Alliance.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you, Sticky Daniel. That was the game. Marvel Alliance was an amazing game that I just
I
pumped hours into it.
What we can bring us straight on to Nintendo is that they've announced that for Nintendo now, I believe, or an update to that, right?
Yeah, it said it's coming out again, which would be quite...
Are you good? Any other Xbox games you want to talk about before we go on to Nintendo?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good as well.
Yeah? We're good. All right, well, let's go on to Nintendo then. So what did you... Anything right off the bat that you saw for Nintendo that you're interested in?
Luigi's Mansion 3. Classic. I played Luigi's Mansion 1 on GameCube. Amazing game. Really fun. But, they really stepped it up a notch with Luigi's Mansion 3. Also great that, they're kind of taking the underdog and making him,
it's not Mario.
Exactly. It's not Mario again. All his friends disappear. And, there's this, I think they did announce it last E3 2018. But then this year they revealed more of the gameplay. And Luigi, you can actually, become a spirit version of him who's all green, and you can go through walls, and you can, go through all these different spikes and all these things that would damage you normally to complete your task, I guess, as Luigi. So, I mean, it's going to be really interesting. I think it releases... Oh gosh, was it?
I can't remember the release now.
I want to say 2020, but...
I was thinking
September 20th? Maybe.
Before
I don't know,
Christmas.
Chat. Maybe you have to check for me.
Chat, tell us on that. But it's quite funny that what I was looking at is because I always remember that Nintendo killed Luigi. This time, August last year, they officially killed him. They said it in the trailer for Super Smash Brothers, he was killed by death.
Oh, really?
Like a figure came in. It said he was scythed down by death-like figure. The teaser for Super Smash Brothers Ultimate is Luigi dead. Nintendo's famous character has apparently been killed off. That was last year.
Oh my goodness.
So maybe which is why Luigi's Mansion 3 he's a ghost as part of it, or him finding his body again. That's why he can go through walls and stuff, maybe.
He's trying to find his body and he comes back to life at the end of the game.
Wow.
That would be quite cool.
That's interesting. I mean, because I feel like Nintendo games usually don't really have a linear kind of timeline,
no,
right?
of course
Especially
not.
with the Mario world.
Like Paper Mario and stuff.
But I mean, that's
maybe.
Ooh.
That's what I thought when you said it. But I always like that, actually, your point about how it's not Mario, it's not the usual guy. When they brought out the GameCube, it came with, they brought out Luigi's Mansion first, not a Mario game.
Yeah, it's nice
which
to
was
see
great.
That, so it's not just all
yeah. I thought it was quite cool.
Pokemon, the other game, Sword and Shield, is the new
is it an expansion or a full game?
I think it's a full game. And it's, I don't know, I think Sticky Dino, you made a good point in chat there, Game Freak are too old to let someone else take over. I think there's two sides to that. Game Freak are the original, I still remember, the little Game Freak sign coming up on my Game Boy whenever I plugged in my obviously Pokemon cartridge. And you're right, and maybe they are venturing into 22nd century, whatever it is, 21st century, further enough that it's past their prime where you might want to hand it over, but at the same time, it's their thing. It's like Pokemon is their thing. But I worry Pokemon's becoming the Fast and Furious of the video game world, where it's just literally just recycle, and it's Fast and Furious on 10, 9, whatever it is now, Fast 9.
Yeah, something
Pokemon,
like that.
I think, is close to the same thing. They're getting to the point where it's it's just same thing over and over and over again, just with new...
Well, that's what I was looking up. That worked for Halo. Bungie did the first 3 Halos. They passed on the baton to 343 Studios, and they rebooted the whole franchise, and now we're seeing that there's kind of a merging of the lines between them. So you're right, and thanks in the chat, Sticky Danio for pointing that out, is that maybe they should pass it on and then have it come back to them in a couple of years' time. Have someone completely revamp what that looks like. What does Pokemon look like? What's the animation style for it? Obviously, they have to tie in still with the original animated design and stuff of it, but it'd be nice to see someone else with it.
I mean, when I saw Pokemon, they made a Pokemon that was just made out of rubbish. It was a Pokemon that was just a trash pile.
Oh my gosh.
And that was a Pokemon. I was like, they're running on fumes right now. They're coming up with characters that just...
how many Pokemon do they have now? That's a good point.
I don't know. Good question. Chat, does anybody know how many Pokemon have been created? Because I'm guessing it's got to be close to 1,000.
807.
Oh.
807, there you go.
Till now. When you had Pokemon, so there's 807, give or take, obviously, because it's the internet, so everything's wrong.
What was that news around the Pokedex not being completely full? Do you guys know? Did you guys hear about that?
No?
I don't know. I've just seen a lot of these
blanked out things.
I don't know. I think they didn't put in all the 807 Pokemon in this new in the new game with the Pokedex. I'm not sure. I only just saw it in passing on Reddit.
In the current Pokedex, there are 809 Pokemon, ending with Melmelto. However, there are the 3 Galar starters, Scorbunny, Sobi, and Grockery, making it 812. Also, there are 7 more Galar Pokemon released in the Nintendo Direct. So you're right, they aren't all in there.
So there's
885 technically, but there's only 809 to 7 in the game.
Okay, so it's not a real solid number then, because we're just going to keep adding on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you literally are
that's how they want to make
digging through the trash to find a new Pokemon.
The next Pokemon's going to be a door, and then capture a chair, My umbrella is a Pokemon.
With someone just shouting, "You're fired." That's the Pokemon. It's just called Mr. Fired, and that's it.
So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. it's Pokemon's such an amazing game, but I really worry that if you milk it too much, you're just going to be like, what's the word? Poking a dead horse.
Oh, that said, though, the way that... But then again, maybe it's because a different director came on board. The way Fast and Furious, good metaphor, but it's like they've turned that now into its own
like
weird series. Hobbs and Shaw, he's basically a superhero in that movie. And they could spin that off. But then that's the point, that they haven't spun Pokemon into anything yet.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see what that is.
That's true.
Other ones I'm interested in is for the Zelda series. Now, seeing the new Link's Awakening, that has made me want to buy a Nintendo Switch. Mm-hmm. One, because I'm going on holiday in a couple of weeks, but two, because I just think like that, Mario Kart, the original Zelda, Super Smash Brothers, everything coming out on that, I think that's just going to be the best console.
Why would you go on holiday? You just need a Switch. Honestly.
You don't need the holiday part, just get the Switch.
Like, go family, you go on holiday. I'm
refund the holiday.
Switch.
Refund the holiday, get the Switch.
Yeah.
I could buy many Switches.
See, I thought about getting a Switch just for the exact reason of going on holiday.
Oh, yeah?
I think my fiance would kill me if we went on holiday and I'd be like, Zelda.
It's such a good way to pass time on the plane, though.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people playing it just for long travel.
And even on the plane, I think I had a friend sit like in the back. We had 2 Switches. We were playing.
Co-playing?
Yeah, we were co-playing on, what is it, Super Smash Brothers.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was great, like he could play on his, I could play on mine, and it was connected through like, I don't know, Bluetooth or something, no Wi-Fi and everything. But no, it was amazing.
That's kind of
great.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about, Link's Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first Zelda game I've ever played. So there's just a place in my heart for this game. It's rebooted, the graphics.
Yeah, I love the new animation style for
amazing.
This. Really cool. It reminds me of the Link where was it a Breath of the Wild where he was on the boat? That was a completely different style of animation they'd done for Zelda, and I just loved that whole style. But you're right, this is a great animation style. It's
still like kind of top down, but then a little bit more 3D.
It's a little bit mixed between
like
Pokemon.
Exactly. Just like the new Pokemon. But, all the elements they've added in that, it just really enhanced the gameplay, right? They also added in, I think, this dungeon level that's like open, like you can roam around. I'm not really sure, but
cool.
They added an extra element to the game as well. So it's not just like, copy and paste of the old game. So that'd be really interesting to see.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Any other Nintendo games?
Not that I know of.
Not
having a Switch, I don't really follow Nintendo.
No, we need to get Switches, and then we need to get onto that.
That's what we need to do.
Hardcore Twitch channel for Switch gameplay.
No, I'm like super excited. I mean, I think we were
Smash,
we were talking about I guess subscriptions and everything. So I recently got the Nintendo Switch subscription. And you can play all the retro, all the retro Nintendo games, like the SNES games. I think.
You should buy one.
I didn't know they had a
so if you get the subscription, I'm not sure how much it was because I think I got it with Twitch Prime.
Okay.
But yeah, if you get that, you get to play that. You get to play the Battle Royale Tetris 99, which is the Battle Royale Tetris, last man standing. I mean, it's a classic, but it's actually really fun. I definitely want to play it on stream one day. But I feel like there's just so much you can do with the Switch. It's friendly for kids. It's good for adults. Like that's just what's so great about Nintendo, I think. Hardcore Nintendo fan, clearly. But all their games are like pretty much rated E or T. So, good for
They kind of have to be.
Everyone.
I think that's their audience. But that
really
said,
is.
they've brought Resident Evil on. I don't know if they're going to be killing anything off there. And they've just announced another one is Witcher 3.
Oh, yeah.
Will be a complete port onto the Switch. So they are having games on there like that, which is funny.
Same developer as Cyberpunk, right?
Witcher
3, yeah.
Oh,
really? I didn't know.
What, CD Projekt Red?
Yay.
Is it CD Projekt Red?
CD Projekt Red, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, interesting that they kind of had that synergy, I guess, going in.
That's pretty good.
Projekt Red, yeah.
Hang on. Okay, so other Nintendo games. We had Super Smash Brothers we were talking about.
Yeah, with
the new character reveals.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Banjo-Kazooie. Just mixed it. Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, that'll be fun to see that because it's nice. Then that opens up the doors to like adding a lot more characters. Not just from Banjo-Kazooie, but sort of any Nintendo game that's ever been made could just throw their characters in, which would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah, and I like to. Hopefully, that means. If they were clever about this, what they would do is they'd launch a new character in Smash Brothers, see how well the reception is, and then announce if they're redoing that game.
Standalone game.
Yeah. I'd love to play another Banjo-Kazooie game.
Yeah.
I like it bringing Conker and Conker's Bad Fur Day back.
Yeah.
Bring Conker's
You know what I really want to play again is Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, they were supposed to be doing a movie of that, weren't they?
Yeah, if they ever.
Did that ever come out?
So it's basically, and I remember playing this when I was young, and it's basically it's a partnership duo that's kind of what's a game that's similar to Ratchet and Clank? Like, I'm drawing a blank now. But basically,
Banjo-Kazooie is kind of like that, right? You're two people.
You're two people, and you're just going around the world, and it's all based
like
off
Sonic and Tails.
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe.
Yeah, kind of. And it was an old school game that I just thought was so fun, but it's just ever since there hasn't been a word spoken about it. But you're right. They did say there was going to be a movie or something, but then nothing. So I think that would be another cool game. Mm-hmm. They had Sonic on Super Smash.
They also had Mario Olympics, which has Sonic in. I think Mario vs. Sega Olympics.
Oh.
Yeah. I remember playing that. Yeah.
Glad to see some esports around that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sticky Daniel, for suggesting D&D esports discuss.
D&D was, I've been huge into D&D lately. I'm playing it, and that'd be fun to watch that. I don't know how you do esports with Dungeons and Dragons.
Maybe we could start a league, our own internal league in the office. We'll do that.
But I mean, speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, Baldur's Gate 3, which is based in the Dungeons and Dragons universe, is coming out, and it looks really cool.
Okay.
The only thing they've teased is a quick little cinematic. And you see a sort of like this. It looks like almost like the streets of it's the streets of Baldur's Gate, which is a city in Dungeons and Dragons. But essentially, if you imagine like a metropolitan city that's in sort of ancient times, and all these soldiers are dead on the floor,
kind of like the Warhammer games that came out. Yeah.
And then one soldier goes to stand up. He's like barely alive. He's like using a sword to hold himself up, and then out of nowhere, you just see him sort of to transform into, and I don't remember the species name, but they're basically octopus head aliens.
Okay.
And he's been taken over by an alien, and then you see in the background, there's a really cool cinematic of just like lightning flash, and you see a bunch of tentacles in the sky and taken over, and that's all you know. So no one really knows what's in the
Interesting. Are we watching that one?
But it'd be kind of cool. Yeah, the Cthulhu.
I just want to watch the cinematics for that. I don't even want to play it. I just want to watch it. I just want to hear the story, you know?
Really
Well, that's what, like, okay, so that made me think of Rick and Morty, because that's coming back soon. And how
Yes.
Cthulhu is in the opening credits for every single episode, but you never see Cthulhu, do you? I'm pretty sure there's never a Cthulhu.
It's bad. I've never seen Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Speaking of Rick and Morty, though, sorry, this is like nothing to do with
The new
E3,
video
but
game?
Travis Saves the World.
Yeah.
I can't believe they made a game out of it. It's amazing. I want
A game out of it? Was it original?
No. It was just a game within Rick and Morty's TV universe.
I didn't think it was an actual game.
They just launched it for, I think, all platforms. But they're going to launch a VR version of this game. I don't know, probably next year. I mean, it's already halfway through this year. So, yeah, I mean, Rick and Morty's creator created this game. His name is Travis. He has these weird eyeballs that have eyeballs in them as well. It's super weird. But he saves the world, or his universe, or his world, or whatever. And yeah, it's amazing. I think one of the trailers for it was Rick and Morty playing the game. As
that's
you know,
cool.
and he's like, you know,
kinda
Rick,
meta.
I'm trying to play this game, and then Rick is like, whatever, Morty, blah, blah, blah. You know, typical Rick and Morty stuff. But
I like that, and again, that's relating back to the beginning where we said that it's merging that universe between movies and comic books and whatever, and now video games.
It's just blending now.
Yeah,
Really cool. Yeah,
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we went to The Witcher 3. Animal Crossing is the only other one. Again, I've never really played it, but everyone's up in arms about how it's been pushed back. I mean, I mean, obviously out there, if anyone's an Animal Crossing fan, apologies, it's been pushed back, but I don't know what that really means for me.
Do I.
Yeah. Well, we'll try it out one day. So.
Yeah, but I'd like to maybe end on that topic now, unless you've got any other games to feature on.
No,
Talking about the merging of not the real world, but the movie world, the TV world with video game world. At the end, there's a section we kind of like to recommend what people should do next, what games they should play, or what we recommend. There was something on Netflix I saw recently that was called Explained, and it's a TV series in partnership with Vox.
Okay.
And basically, one of the episodes was on esports. And it was like the history of esports. Did you see it too?
I have watched that one, yeah. And then there's also the 7 Days Out one with the League of Legends. I mean, it's really interesting for people that don't understand how esports works.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like where it came from and the backstory of that and the money behind it and the amount that's going to be in there. It's good. It's huge. It is huge, and it's going to be even bigger. Like, it's going to be the number 2 sport within next year. So, it's great to watch that. So anyone who's interested, go out and watch that on Netflix now. I'd recommend that. Do you guys have anything you want to recommend people play, people go see, people do?
Not at the moment. I think E3 was kind of the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games on my list that I do want to stream. I do want to try out. I guess just because I haven't played, any of the new Zelda or Breath of the Wild, and then 2 coming out. So I'll probably do like a series. Finish the first game and then the next. I always find that it's always good to refresh a little bit. I mean. I've watched the gameplay from a lot of, different streamers, different YouTubers and stuff, but then I guess, trying it myself, kind of having that first walkthrough, I definitely want to do, and, definitely recommend if someone wants to get into, a second or third series, for example, Halo. You know, if they already have an Xbox, try playing
play the original ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because they're still great games. I mean, if you played them today, they're still really, really fun games, just from the storytelling angle of it.
Yeah.
Even though I remember watching the adverts, Halo Believe advert is still one of my favorite adverts to be made.
It's just so unique. Like, it's not really another universe that's similar. So it's nice to see that it's. I
mean, it takes nuances from like Space Marines out of Games Workshop, Star Wars. It takes a lot of stuff from that. But no, you're right.
Yeah.
Anything you want to recommend people to play and do?
Not at the moment. Well, I mean, if anyone's into Total War, like it's just fun to watch these Chinese generals go at it on the front. That's all I've been doing right now. Yeah.
So get into Total War. Okay, right. Let's finish this on one thing. Who won E3 in your mind?
I'm gonna go with EA just because the Star Wars just got such a huge.
You think it's going to be full of microtransactions?
I desperately hope not. But I mean, Apex is a EA as well, and they don't have as much.
Well, what's the other game of E3 we don't mention? That's kind of
Roller. Was it that one?
No. Well, there was that, but there's the Destiny one they tried to make.
I don't know.
I can never remember the name of the game.
Chat,
you can put it in. That basically came out as a huge flop very recently. What's it called again? Anthem.
It was such a flop.
We can't even remember what it's called. It's that bad. Yeah, Anthem. Yeah, so I don't know. EA, I feel like they have way too much money and not enough creativity or really care and passion anymore.
Yeah.
So again, similar to Pokemon, I want to see them give up Star Wars license to someone else.
Yeah, that actually would be nice. You're right.
But you're right. Yeah, for me, it was a great game. I don't know.
The only reason I think they were because I like Star Wars. So I just was so excited to see the game and the gameplay. And they're one of the only, at least from what I saw, had like a full 15-minute gameplay, which was nice to finally see. Like I was saying earlier about cinematics versus gameplay.
Which is what you should have at E3. It's playable games.
Yeah, we wanted to know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure, it's not just a trailer and be like, here you go, buy now. It's like, no, I want to play games. That's why you pay money, I think, to go to E3. It's not just to see a movie. Which is what E3 is meant
to be originally is for video games, right? So if I'm going there and I don't even know, like, for example, there's many, like, there's the game Gods and Monsters, which is this quick little cinematic of this
I'm going to check that one out.
Yeah, and it's called Gods and Monsters, but I have no clue what that game is about. Whether it's a shooter, whether it's RPG, whether it's I don't know. Yeah, what type it is, and it's really hard for me to get hyped about it because I don't know what to be hyped about.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Wars, at least now I can see a bit of the mechanics, I can see the actual game, and I can imagine myself playing. So I do enjoy. But you're right though. Like cinematics is fun to be part of the story and to immerse yourself into that.
Yeah. I mean, I think for the most basic gamer, right? Like I'm not really that into, I guess, as deep as you guys into the whole gaming world, but that cinematic and that kind of storyline draws me into it, and then maybe I'll try something out, or get people into it as well that aren't so big in it as well. Yeah. So
you're right, and I think like I was saying earlier, Baldur's Gate with the Cthulhu guy, like those little clips are fun. Yeah. But then if that's all I get.
I've been burnt too many times by games, and it really started with Aliens Colonial Marines.
Right.
I went full out and bought the most expensive like luxury pack of that game you could buy based on the E3 demo. There was a physical playable demo, at least I think they now said that they faked it at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but when the game came out, it was nothing like that, and that's why I'm now burnt. I'm like, I'm not putting any money down on any games anymore.
Well, a lot of people say when games come out, give it a month, and for them to either iron out bugs, either to get the overall hype out of the way,
and have the day one patch notes that are bigger than the size of the game itself.
Yeah, and then you see, is there much replayability to this? Is this genuinely as good as it sounded?
Well, I'm glad I held off on Anthem, because that was the other one that I was like, I might actually buy into this again. I'm so glad I didn't. And I never went into it because of that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I pre-ordered Battlefield 5, and I was so disappointed.
Oh, you did? Oh, yeah.
I played it once, and I was like, nah.
See, I'm a Battlefield veteran. I played it all the
time.
I
like Battlefield.
Speaking of which, they have a new chapter they just released. That's another thing that EA... that's another reason why I think EA, because they released another chapter 5 for Battlefield 5. So that's why...
Okay.
But maybe I have to get into it again.
I think it's different. You got to go into it with a different expectation. It's not going to be like any of the Battle Royale games. It's not going to be like the COD games. It's not going to be like CSGO as a shooter. It's much more, you just got to immerse yourself into, I'm in the middle of a battlefield where there's just crap happening everywhere, and I'm just one little piece of the whole thing.
That's why the original Star Wars ones they did were quite good, because it was that universe, and it was still in those sense before they brought in the microtransactions and kind of destroyed it.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, it's Nintendo and Zelda, just because they make me want to buy a Switch. Now they've done a very good job just to make me go, okay, that's it. You've got every game that I want just for playing like the mobile game kind of style thing. I have 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, whatever. I'm going to get into that.
Yeah, very true.
For me, it was Cyberpunk, honestly. I think, honestly, it was the celebrity appearance that kind of got me,
Keanu.
Internet's boyfriend.
Keanu
My
did
boyfriend?
it.
I
Question
was going
mark?
to say your boyfriend. Everything more than internet.
Well, I mean,
boyfriend.
Keanu, if you're watching.
He's like, he's here today.
Imagine.
That would be amazing.
But no, I mean, you know, it actually got me into reading more about the game because, you know, it was all cinematics at E3. You know, it was the trailer and then, you know, the big reveal of Keanu. He's like, oh, I loved working with you guys. Great, cool, but, you know, I don't know how to play. So I looked into it. Very open world, you know, GTA style with a little bit of, I don't know if you guys know Altered Carbon, like, you know, that
yes,
kind of whole,
I love that series.
like that whole cyberpunk feel, you know, that very Japanese city feel and, you know, blood and gore and, you know, machines and also, what's that other Netflix series also recommended? Love, Death, Robots?
Yes.
Robots, yeah.
Very,
also
very good.
kind of like that kind of feel, you know, very anime.
Yeah, really visceral.
Very, yeah, exactly. So
Awesome. No, I have to agree with you. That I'm looking forward to that game.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remember there's a quick little plug. There's a game that is GTA, not plug, has nothing to do with it.
GTA, yeah, I think I might have heard of GTA.
Hashtag
It's quite a big game.
It's GTA, but you're a shark.
What?
So you're like, I literally,
What's it called?
I don't know the name. I need to, it's like Man-Eater.
GTA,
It's called
but you're a
Man-Eater.
shark.
All right, cue the Baby Shark song right
You're
now.
literally a shark.
Shark role-playing game, Man-Eater.
Yeah, it's called Man-Eater, and you're just a shark, and you just go around eating people, but it's GTA style.
But they had that on mobile, didn't they?
Yeah, they've had plenty of shark eating games, but I just saw that and I'm like, how can you have a GTA style shark game? And it's like you go up onto beaches, you try and eat
Land
people.
shark.
That's
and then you
hilarious.
like try and roll back in the water and keep going, and it's like,
Wow.
that's a game I could just mess around
They
for
call
a
it
couple
an
hours.
open world RPG, but you can't. It sort of says open ocean. Like you can't really go outside of that,
Yeah.
like,
So
down
it'll be
the
interesting to see
streets
what they do.
or.
Oh man.
Yeah. Anyways, that was just a quick little thing I saw.
Very interesting. I like that. Very
Yeah.
random. So yeah, I think that's it. I've got no one else news to say today.
I'm good there. Yeah.
So everyone, make sure you follow us on Talon_esports on Instagram and all of our other social platforms. Again, look out. We've got some great content coming up for Overwatch, both from our streamers and obviously some content across the main channel. Great stuff there with a new team out of Thailand as well when it comes to Arena of Valor and seeing what happens there. And obviously all praise and good luck towards Book and Tekken 7 and everything that's going to be coming your way again in the Thai region there. So thank you so much everyone for tuning in. Thank you guys for coming on again.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
And look forward to us talking hopefully either about Spider-Man post or posthumously once we've seen that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys.
you.
See you later.
Bye-bye.